and our weekly video segment to take you into the back shelves of your local video store, back where it says horror videos, and where kids are devouring some awful films that we call the video nasties.
Are you freebasing? Inquiring minds want to know.
I have to break free from this culture of mechanical reproductions and the thick incrustations dying on the surface.
Fuck the prime time, bitch!
On with the new flesh.
The pain, I can assure you, will be exquisite. As for our deaths, come with me and be immortal.
We have such sights to show you.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Happy New Year, horror hounds, and welcome to the It Slays podcast. I'm your humble host, Rowan.
I'm the cramps on the jukebox, Mike.
I'm Colton.
Hey, it's Jill.
And we are back. We're basically like back to the future, because you'll be hearing this, it'll be a new year. All you guys will be doing the like New Year, New Me posts, gonna get fit, all that kind of stuff.
Good luck with all that. Oh.
And we're
I was gonna say it's really sad what happened to Jill there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Wait, what?
You'll never know. You'll have to find out.
You're saying I let myself go this year?
No, I was more so thinking like this is your memorial episode. You know, you passed away in that little interim space in between when we recorded and the new year.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the possible Jill and Mike beef starting off 2025 or 2026.
Whatever year
will
it is.
Be my passing. The reason for my passing.
I like it.
I don't know where this beef is coming from, but that's...
You'll know by the end of this review.
I like it. I like it. Colton's getting a little relief. He won't be in the hot seat anymore. Be Jill.
Don't worry. If Jill
turn.
is starting beef, I have ammunition ready to go.
Oh, shit. I'm
pow,
so
pow,
scared.
pow, pow. Yeah.
Ceasefire.
We need some sort of listener to Photoshop, the famous Seinfeld scene of Costanza where he's like, "This is the year George," and just put Jill's face on his body. It says, "This is the year Jill."
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Or get AI to do it, I guess.
Yeah. Someone do
Just
it,
kidding.
please. But we know where we're going to start in this new year that we haven't begun yet. Let's do what we have been consuming, what we've been watching, what we've been listening to, what we've been reading, all that good stuff. Mike, why don't you kick us off for the new year?
Okay. Well, I've got a few things that I've had like a not super... I don't know. I was going to say I haven't had like a super successful movie few weeks, but...
It's only been a week.
Yeah, realistically, the last episode we recorded late, so later than we normally do. So, there was a couple days shaved off there.
No, true. And honestly, even though I've like worked a lot, over the last week or so. Okay, so I did manage to get a couple of rewatches in. Actually, now that I'm looking at my list, almost everything that I've watched in the last couple weeks has been a rewatch, except for like one thing, which I'll get into. So I actually watched my... actually, this was one of my first time watches. I've had it on my list for years and years and years and years. And it's the old Giallo movie, The House with Laughing Windows. Arrow just put out a limited edition 4K of it. And friend of the show, Willow, she has an essay in the booklet. So I got my copy of that and decided instead of waiting 6 months, I was actually going to watch it right away. And it is one of those movies that you either like love or hate. It's kind of like a slow burn, weird, twisted, like the vibes are rancid sort of movie where like stretches will go by and nothing like horror-y happens, but like you just don't feel right. And I love movies like that. Like I love just being unsettled and I can't figure out why. And then, when something horror does happen, it's like, oh, okay, so this is kind of like where it's leading. House of Laughing Windows, I think that it's still, if you don't, like, I don't know that it's streaming anywhere right now. Oh, wait, no, it's streaming on the Arrow channel and it's really cheap to buy on Apple TV. Apparently it's only $8 in Canada. So honestly, if you are into like kind of creepy slow burn giallos, I would check it out. And if you're not, probably don't bother. Just to be real. And a couple of my friends and I got together right before Christmas to do a like pajama drinks and supposedly bad Christmas movie watching party just to like kind of decompress before, you know, the like crazy couple of days of Christmas. So we were half successful because we watched 2 movies in a short, and one of them was a bad Christmas movie and the other one was Home Alone. I don't know why we were like trying to figure out like bad Christmas movies, and then we were like, let's end with Home Alone. And I'm like, guys, that's not a bad movie. Like, what are you thinking?
Ended on a high note, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and obviously we've all seen Home Alone like a million times, and it's wonderful. I spent the whole night telling everybody about how it ripped off Dial Code Santa Claus.
Yes.
Educate them, Mike.
I was like, guys, I wish the host is not a horror movie watcher. Like, he hates horror movies. So otherwise I probably would have been like, guys, we're not watching Home Alone. We're watching this. It's French. Mm-hmm. It's got like a Bonnie Tyler song on the soundtrack. It's excellent. And we also watched the classique short, especially if you're in Canada or like Britain, Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean, which famously has him getting a turkey stuck on his head, which they ripped off on that Friends episode. Yeah. It's so funny because like Mr. Bean was always playing when I was a kid, and like my dad had a couple of the VHS tapes and stuff. So I kind of forgot that it existed for decades. And then they were like, oh my God, we should like watch that Christmas special. And I was like, okay, whatever. And it came on and I kind of was like, I don't remember any of this. But after about 2 minutes, I was like, no, I remember every single beat of everything that happens in this like 25-minute episode. It was kind of super comforting. You know, the great thing about Mr. Bean is he doesn't talk pretty much at all. He's like a sim. He like makes these weird noises and grunts and like clicks and grunts.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the vibe I needed. I was just like sitting there and like the music was playing and he was being a sim and I was just like drinking my red wine and it was wonderful. So the other movie that we watched that night was one that none of us had seen before, and it was definitely the bill for like bad Christmas movie night. And it was one of the 2 like Lindsay Lohan comeback movies that she did, the Christmas movies for Netflix. Mm-hmm. And it was called Falling for Christmas.
Yep.
And it was atrocious.
I remember that.
It looks like it was shot on an iPhone.
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe it was. And listen, I know people like do movies with iPhones, but like this is derogatory. Yeah, this is derogatory. Looks like it was. It was looked like it was shot with an iPhone like 8.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to put this in context. And the guy Fish Lips from, if you ever watched Glee, is in it, and it's like essentially a bad Christmas ripoff of the classic 80s comedy Overboard, starring Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. You know, where she's this like rich woman who like gets amnesia and they like adopt her as their mom, and you know, they live on a ship and you know, it's like totally different from her life. And she comes to at the end and like, oh, I'm such a different person now. And it's the same thing. Like Lindsay Lohan like hits her head and she's like a rich heiress who owns a hotel, and this like guy who owns, of course, a struggling like B&B in the area rescues her, and nobody knows. She doesn't have her like ID and nobody knows who she is, and you know, oh, she becomes like the surrogate mom of his family, and it's just like, oh my God. And then of course, you know, it has the predictable beats at the end where they figure out who she is, and oh, but she's a different person now, and she forsakes her like worldly goods to you know, just like, oh my God, please. But you know what? Lindsay Lohan is so charming. I can't be mad at it. It's like, it was a good thing to like get drunk to, put it that way. That's all I'm going to say about that. I also did a couple of Christmas Eve and Tibbs Eve watches, and one of them was the original Hairspray, John Waters. It's an absolute masterpiece, and a lot of people will know it because they know the musical remake. And all I have to say is, while I was watching it, I kept thinking to myself, I can't believe there's an entire generation of people who only know the musical version of this movie, and they will never know the twisted. Yeah, and then I just feel so sorry because it's like, you don't know this like weird, twisted, offbeat like fucked up version of the story that's much better because it's not a musical. It actually just features music from the period, and it's got like one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my life. But please do me a favor, if you like Hairspray the musical, dear God, just watch the original. Like, it's so fucking good. You will not regret it. Debbie Harry's in it, like Sonny Bono, Ricky Lake. Like, the cast is completely insane. Ricky
also
Lake,
in Serial Mom.
Are also in
makes
Serial
sense.
Mom.
Yeah.
John Waters and Ricky Lake, they need to team up again. That's all I'm saying.
Agree.
Now, what if you don't like Hairspray the musical?
Also go watch Hairspray the original.
Okay, all right.
I thought it was just
because
a musical
honestly,
too, Colton.
it's a better version of it. So if you like it, you'll like Hairspray more. And if you dislike Hairspray the musical, you'll also like it because it's very different. That's all I have to say about that. I also rewatched a classic, The Wachowskis' Bound, starring Jennifer Tilly and Gina Gershon. I don't know if anyone here has seen this. It's wonderful. It's like a neo-noir movie from the mid-90s.
It was on a film studies course that I did, but I think it got swapped out for something at one point. When we were looking for noirs to cover.
Yeah, I can
it.
see that. It kind of runs in the same line as like stuff like Body Heat and things like that.
Got swapped out.
You know, just sort of like
Hairspray the musical.
Hairspray the musical, and Colton skipped out on that class. But yeah, it's just, you know, you're kind of like throwback, super stylish, postmodern spin on old noir movies. Jennifer Tilly is the, you know, femme fatale, beleaguered wife of a mobster who, you know, has this plan to like steal money and take off with her new lover, Gina Gershon, who's kind of like a bit of a butch lesbian, lives next door in their apartment building. She's like just out of jail and, you know, kind of like doing renovation work and like always covered in paint, like wearing these like fucking hot tank tops, and like she just has her hair cut short and she just looks so fucking sexy. And it's such a goddamn sexy movie. It's so good. Everybody watch it. The Wachowskis, it was, I think, 3 years before The Matrix.
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah, like chef's kiss, fucking beautiful. The filmmaking is phenomenal. There's a 4K from Criterion that I need to buy. I'm sure it looks amazing because their filmmaking is obviously like top tier.
What's crazy is you gave this one a 4.5. And among my Letterboxd friends, you're like one of the lower scores for the movie. Pretty much
really
5.
Oh, wow. Okay. No, that's good. I'm glad to hear, because sometimes I'm like, you know, stuff like obviously the new Jennifer Lawrence movie. It's like a few people will give it really high ratings and then everyone else is like boring 1 star. I was like, oh God, please tell me people don't dislike Bound. Like,
no, people love
Jennifer
Bound.
Tilly's just so charming, right? Like, it's just, oh, I love it. So, of course, on Christmas, I watched my 4K of Black Christmas. That's my go-to. That's been my go-to holiday movie since I was like 12 or 13 years old. I had the like VHS tape and I wore it out. Obviously, 5 stars. I've watched that all the time. Like, if you're listening to It Slays, you know Black Christmas is a sleigh. And I watched my other favorite Christmas movie, which is another rewatch that I watched this year. And it's Go, starring Sarah Polley, of course. Technically, it takes place during the Christmas season, and they go to a Christmas-themed rave, so to me, it's a Christmas movie. That is another banger of my life. I fucking love it. Great, you know, hijinks, kind of like vaguely Tarantino, in that like all these characters are getting up to all this like criminal shit, and their paths intersect, and it all kind of comes together in the end. And so the other night, this is the last thing I watched in the last few weeks, and I was doing something. I can't even remember what I was doing, and I was like, I'm going to put a movie on in the background on my laptop. And so I opened up Prime and was just like, I'm going to find some random trash on Prime. And for whatever reason, another Lindsay Lohan movie like got suggested to me, and it was Just My Luck from 2006, which co-stars Chris Pine, little baby Chris Pine, in one of his first like lead roles. And it is a romantic comedy. It is trash. It's a very bad movie. I need to get out there with that. Essentially, the plot is that she's this like very, very, very extremely lucky. I don't want to call her rich, but she's like, you know, got like a really cushy job. She's definitely like upper middle class ish, and you know, she gets everything she wants in life, and she's very pleasant, and he's bumbling, and every time you see him he's tripping over stuff, and like his pants are ripping open and stuff like that, and he's very unlucky. And they kiss at a event that she's hosting that he's working at, and he's wearing a mask, and somehow it swaps their luck just because they kissed. So then she loses her job and starts having this bad luck, and she spends half the movie trying to find this guy and kiss him again to reverse their luck. And it's just such a bizarre, it's just so
it's like
bad.
Freaky Friday.
It's like Freaky Friday, but like romantic. Yeah, and you know what? I was trying to figure out what it reminded me of, and it's Freaky Friday. You're right. Like, it's awful, but it has a great cast. She's charming. Listen, this was like peak Lindsay Lohan, like when she was at her like commercial peak, and
bossy.
Like, there's a reason why she was so famous. Like, she is really charismatic. You know, she can carry a movie. Chris Pine was great in this. You could easily tell why other than the fact that he was like scorching hot. You know, you can tell why, like, yeah, exactly. Like, you look at him and go, like, this guy can act. Like, he's better than this. Would I recommend it? Probably not. But, like, honestly, it's not bad to have on in the background. That's what I did. I kind of actually fell asleep halfway through it and then watched the rest of it in the morning when I got up.
I saw Colton writing it down so he can watch it tonight.
I used to be a big Lindsay Lohan fan back in the day. Although whenever, I mean, what has she done recently other than this fucking Netflix Christmas movie?
Christmas movies.
You know? Or Freakier Friday. I haven't seen that
That's true.
either.
I still haven't seen it because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Me too.
Colton thinking about Lindsay Lohan getting his Friday freaky.
Oh,
well, speaking of Colton writing things down, what have you been watching?
Not a whole lot, to be honest. I'm no longer working, but it's still like it's the holidays, so I just haven't had a whole lot of time to kind of relax and check things out.
He kissed someone and lost his job. So,
that's what happened. Yeah, I'm desperately tracking this woman down across St. John's, trying to reverse my luck, but no such luck so far. But yeah, I rewatched Wake Up Dead Man, which I probably talked about when I came back from the TIFF episode, and that thoroughly held up. I thought it was great. Really enjoy that movie. But for a couple of new watches, I've basically just went to the theater twice, and I guess we'll start with Big Jim's new movie.
Big Jim.
Avatar. Fire and Ash.
Jim.
Oh, I was like the guy from Captain Underpants. Like,
no, not
Big
quite.
Jim.
But yeah, of course, this is James Cameron's new movie. I'm sure everybody knows what Avatar is. And what I'll say is I'm like an unabashed Avatar fan of at least the second movie. The second movie was excellent. I think the first movie gets a bad rap just because everyone's kind of doing this whole, oh, it's so culturally irrelevant, nobody remembers Avatar, which, to be fair, like, okay, sure, but the visual effects are still great. And I mean, at the time, I remember watching that in theaters with 3D glasses on, and it like absolutely blew my mind. So it's still like a franchise I look forward to. The issue with this one is just it's only been a couple of years since the last one, and I think they filmed them at the same time, kind of in tandem. So there just really hasn't been a time for like the visual effects to actually advance whatsoever. So it still very much looks like a movie from, 2022, 2023, whenever The Way of Water came out. And it also doesn't really break any new ground. And this is, another kind of way that people like dismiss the sequel for Avatar, that it's the same movie over again, which I understand like narratively in some aspects it is, but at least in the difference between Avatar 1 and 2, they moved from kind of like a forested area to like a more coastal water area. There's a family of like people to follow now that all have their different, character arcs and whatnot. And then there's also some cool stuff with the humans in terms of like reanimating like the villain and bringing him back in kind of like a Navi's body that I thought was interesting, at least for a sequel, like some kind of points of differentiation. This third one, everyone thought that it was like, okay, the first one's forest, the second one's water, the third one's called Fire and Ash, so we must be going to like the mountainous volcano land and we're going to do the same thing over again. And I kind of wish they did, because basically the characters kind of just stay put in the coastal region for the entire movie, more or less. And whenever we cut to kind of this fiery mountainous terrain, it's just through the eyes of a villain or a couple of villains, more or less. So the movie actually winds up feeling very much like at least half of it kind of like a retread of the second movie, so much so that even the third act kind of repeats all the exact same beats of, the whale coming in and fighting against ships. They do the thing where it's like in the second movie, a ship was huge and was like launching little whaling boats. Now in this movie, there's an even bigger ship that's launching the ship that launches the whaling boats. It reminded me of, what was that shitty Star Wars movie, Rise of Skywalker? When it's just like, everything is bigger for the final fight. They're almost like trying to recreate like that endgame moment of everyone coming in and fighting at once. But it just kind of winds up feeling very similar to the last movie with like extra steps. So I thought overall it was like, okay.
It's what if the gun shot smaller guns?
Yeah, essentially, right? It's just like in the second movie, there's this sense of scale of things that are so huge anyways. Like one whale, we go this whole 3-hour movie setting up like the backstory of this one whale and how he's been ousted by his pod. And basically in the final act, he comes in and fights with your heroes, right? And it's this epic moment. In the next movie, it's like, what if he was a medium-sized whale and there's bigger whales, and now instead of one whale we have 100 whales fighting, and it's just like, okay, bro, it's not that different visually when you're watching it. Like, there's still the fucking whales flopping around on the deck and stuff and turning over boats, right? We've seen it. So yeah, for me it was like, there's a section for probably a solid hour that it feels novel and it's kind of doing some new things. And you know, James Cameron's very good at composing these moments with like image and sound and visual effects where it'll kind of elicit some sort of emotional reaction from you. Lots of times just in like awe of what you're seeing on screen. But I think it really fell apart in the latter half of the movie where I definitely felt myself being like, oh, this is actually very similar to the last movie. And it's another one of those sequels where all of the characters wind up in the exact same space as they were at the beginning of the movie. And like nobody dies. All the villains are kind of left in like, oh, they vanished in the third act just so they can come back for another movie. It's very much like a nothing burger of a movie. And for something that's like $300 million and, you know, poised to make like $2 billion, it's a little depressing, I think, for me. So
as a fan too.
Yeah, exactly, right? It was the sort of thing where I defend these movies just because I think they're pretty interesting or at least creative. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm sure James Cameron could be doing, you know, more novel things with his filmmaking expertise. But I don't hate the movies. I don't just naturally hate them, you know? So this was definitely a bit of a disappointment overall, I would say.
I'm going to try to go see it this week coming. I've kind of heard all the same stuff, so I'm already a little sad, and I don't know. I'm on video. I can see Jill and Mike. I feel like they're just praying for our downfall over here.
What? No,
so.
I like the first Avatar. I just never saw the second one, and I'm so behind. I have to watch the second one before I can watch.
I haven't seen a single one of them.
Oh damn! I mean, the first
like
one is
literally
really good.
Not even the old ones.
Yeah, like I don't know if any of these movies really hold up well in the comfort of your own home. Like they very much are.
Yeah.
Kind of like
theater movies,
theater theme park sort of rides. Like you want to put the 3D glasses on, you want to watch it in the fucked up high frame rate of like shifting things because, you know, James Cameron's all about that. And I do think he's really not all about that nowadays, of course, but I think he is really good at actually making the 3D images look good, not be distracting. Actually, even though it's a 3-hour and 15-minute movies where you're sat there with the 3D glasses on that I personally haven't put them on since I think like the last Avatar, it's not distracting, you know, from the experience. You kind of do just, you know, fall into the world of Pandora when you're watching it. So it was just for me that the fact that the movie actually this time wound up repeating so many narrative beats of the former movies that I was disappointed. And Rowan, what are your thoughts on Spider?
I don't know how to feel about him. Just
well, you're gonna get a lot of feelings on Spider now because he's like the main character for 2 hours of this movie. So I hope you grow to like him. Poor guy can't act.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the only culturally insensitive thing going on in those movies are his hair. So
oh, wait until you see what happens with his hair.
Oh, Jesus.
No spoilers, but you got to see it.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So the other thing I watched in theaters also. I just couldn't wait for this movie either, is, you know, Marty Supreme, Christmas Day. I happened to go check it.
That was your Christmas Day plan.
Actually, I wound up going Christmas Eve. So I went to the first screening or second screening.
What time?
In the afternoon, you know, the best time to go see movies, Christmas Eve. So yeah, I saw Marty Supreme. It's the new singular Safdie brother. They're no longer brothers making movies together. And I can't remember. I think it's Josh Safdie, this brother. Anyways. And obviously, yeah, everyone calls it the Timothy Chalamet ping pong table tennis movie. And it's true. Timothée Chalamet plays a decent amount of ping pong in the movie, probably about a half hour worth of ping pong. But the movie's also 2.5 hours long. And if you watch the trailer, there's like explosions and gunfights and cars careening through houses. And you're like, what the fuck does this have to do with ping pong? and I'm happy to report it has a lot to do with ping pong, and it's a very good movie. I really enjoyed it. It's truly bizarre. It is essentially
2.5 hours, you said?
2.5 hours. Yeah. It's essentially Timothée Chalamet in the beginning. It's kind of like a regular sports drama where he's competing in this table tennis tournament. He really needs the prize money, and he loses because it's set in the 50s, and the travel ban just reopened, and a surprise Japanese player makes their appearance and just decimates the competition. So essentially it winds up being Timothée Chalamet's character trying to get enough money over the course of this next year to get to Tokyo to battle this opponent at the World Ping Pong Tournament. And Timothée Chalamet's character is just like a relentless hustler, grifter, backstabbing people, committing crimes, doing whatever he needs to kind of get money and get ahead. And it's a very fun, chaotic, frenetic movie. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like where Adam Sandler is just this degenerate gambler, like just constantly like moving ahead, like just getting further and further in debt and like getting minor wins along the way. It's kind of similar to that, but in a lot of like scheming and just like social manipulation and kind of moving through the world in like 50s New York. That's a lot of fun. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Kevin O'Leary's in there as just a blood-sucking businessman who is absolutely terrible and kind of distracting the first time he comes on screen. But
so he's
I will
playing
say,
himself.
Yeah, well, that's why I wound up kind of liking it, Mike, because it was very much like, oh, everything he's saying kind of feels naturalistic in the way of like, I don't know, whatever he's spouting on Shark Tank feels kind of cold and capitalistic. And that's basically just what he's getting on with in the movie. He's like a pen mogul who wants to own Timothée Chalamet, essentially, for some different business reasons. And, you know, obviously if Timothy aligns with him, it's like an easy way to kind of get some cash. So yeah, anyways, crazy movie. Very much enjoyed it. I won't spoil what happens in it, but it was literally a movie that probably every 15, 20 minutes or so, I was like, what am I watching? Like, this is insane. So definitely very entertaining. Does not feel 2.5 hours. And unlike most Safdie movies, it kind of ends on like a nice note. I wouldn't say happy note because it's a Safdie movie, but it, you know, it's not like Howard at the end of Uncut Gems where he's like, gets his head blown off. You know, it's like, oh, okay, there is a nice ending here somewhat. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah, for Uncut Gems. Spoilers. But yeah, no, Marty
I
Screen.
guess I won't watch it.
Great movie. Sorry, Mike. Jill, what have you been checking out? I assume you haven't seen Marty Supreme yet.
I haven't. I need to make it out of my house. I've been like in that comatose state of like the holidays where you don't know what day it is.
Yeah.
I totally forgot we were recording today. And like we mentioned earlier, we only recorded like a week ago. So I don't really have much to talk about, but I'm going to talk about games because I've been playing the OG Roller Coaster Tycoon on my computer.
Nice.
For hours every day. Like I have a heating pad on my back right now because I've been hunched over my computer for hours, day in, day out, working like a dog, trying to make it work in this roller coaster business. So, and I just got it for the Switch as well. So now I can play the exact same game, which is more difficult on the Switch. So I'm still playing on my computer.
Now, are you actually building like good attractions, or are you just building coasters that are going to send people off the, you know, to their fiery depths, or, you know, locking people in the corners of the park with no bathroom in sight?
Right. So I'm actually playing like the scenarios. So I'm trying the campaign. So I'm trying to, you know, do well. So no, I haven't done anything like that. But in my youth, I used to drown people all the time. I'd create like a little square of water and just pick up people and throw them in it, watch them die. I did have people die in my parks though, because my roller coasters crashed. That's horrific because then people won't get back on it. So you have to lower the price. So
Oh, wow. Okay, so you're
Yeah,
just like making Final Fantasy. I was going to say Final Destination, 3 or whatever?
Listen,
Yeah,
it's
some
out of
people
my
call her the
control.
Kevin O'Leary of the roller coaster tycoon world.
I love that game. I don't know.
I'm going to change Jill's name in my phone to Kevin O'Leary.
Oh, no.
Please don't. Please don't. Oh, God. For books, I'm reading a book called Shallow River by H.D. Carlton. She's the writer who wrote like Haunting, Adeline, all that stuff. So I'm reading this one as a part of like my friend group's book club because they really like
Isn't
dark
it, like,
romance.
60 pages long.
I don't think so. I'm reading it on my Kindle, so I don't really know how
No,
that
sorry.
translates.
I'm thinking it was a different one.
Oh, you're thinking of
Because she has a couple
Satan's
of the
Affair.
little...
Yeah.
Yes,
The little
yeah.
novella. Yeah, this one's like this one's messed up, man. There's like a lot of traumatic stuff happening, and I have to like put it down every once in a while because I'm like, I can't do this right now. Like this is not even enjoyable. I'm just hearing about people like having horrible things happen to them. So yep, there's that. And then for watching things, I'm caught up on Stranger Things. I just have that last episode that needs to come out on New Year's Eve, but I'm really liking this season. I feel like every episode has kind of been a hit for me. I like where they're going with it. I think the monster design is like getting better. I think it's the best it's been. And I like the kind of younger characters that they've added to it. So I don't know. I'm really into it. It's really gay as well. Like a lot of like literally like gay moments happening. So I love that. Because the Republicans are going to be so mad about it. So yeah,
I heard
Stranger
Vecna
Things.
turned Will gay. Is that true?
Probably. It's all part of the gay
Dang.
agenda. I hope you know. That's the long con in Stranger Things. Are you guys watching at all? I don't think either of you
I
are.
am.
No. You are?
I am. Yeah, I'm all caught up.
What do you think?
Yeah, I can tell you, someone that's, I guess online in the politics realm, the Republicans are very angry at Stranger Things. I'm not really sure why, because, they've been dropping all this, since season 1, so...
Yeah, it's been there.
It's just the
It's
outrage
been
now.
gay. Been gay. Staying gay.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of watched, I have one movie that's not a Christmas movie, but it blends then into Christmas territory. So I put on The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because it's been a minute, it's leaving whatever platform, it's HBO Max that's on right now. I think it's leaving. So I saw that and I was like, man, I haven't seen this since I was a wee little kid. I need to watch it. And I remember it being horrific to me. It was a horror movie to me when I was a kid. My older cousins were watching it and I was watching it with them. Just I think the mask scenes and also the transformation kind of scenes really scared me. So, but rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, this is hilarious actually. And I did
slaps.
not catch on to that as a 5-year-old. So.
Chuck Russell.
It does slap.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Dream Warrior, same director.
Oh, also a lot of Dream Warrior stuff going on in Stranger Things this season.
Oh, and also Witchboard remake Chuck Russell.
Oh my God. We talk about Witchboard a lot around here. Okay, but yeah, so Jim Carrey, then kind of like Rowan talked about last episode, I went and watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I think it's a banger. I love it. I love Jim Carrey. I love The Grinch. I love Terrifier 3, so I rewatched it again for the 4th time this month.
And again.
Had to do it on Christmas night, so I'm sorry. And I think I also rewatched Black Christmas for a 2nd time this month as well. I put that on yesterday, and then I watched Christmas Story on Christmas Day as well.
2 Bob Clark movies.
Yep. So that's what I've been up to. Not much. What about you, Rowan?
Yeah, another light week for me. I've been sick with COVID, so I've just kind of been laying in bed with fever, and my whole family's got it, so we've all kind of been out of commission. And the other thing that wasn't told to me is once you have a child, my tradition of just watching 8 million Christmas things over December, that just goes out the window. None of that happens, because I'm just all month running around buying presents and doing shit like that, and so not a lot. So for Christmas watches, the only thing I watched was I'm not contagious anymore, and at the time, my daughter wasn't coughing or sick. So we went and visited my mother, the infamous Rhonda Fraser, for Christmas Day, spent the night, and we watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I watch it every single year. I've pretty much been alive. Watch it with my mother. It's like an all-timer for me. So that, you know, that's fantastic. And that's literally the only Christmas movie I actually got to sit down and watch. I was also watching like some more stuff for the upcoming Huge Now Slaying episode that me and Colton have been working on. So the other couple things I did get to check out, I'm almost done it. Me and X started watching The Chair Company on HBO because I hadn't seen it yet. And obviously I was talking about how I'm a massive Tim Robinson fan. And I knew it was going to be fantastic, and it's so good. Like, it's just, I think the thing I like about it most is just some of the random, like, extras that he has in all of his shows and everything he's done, like, seeing them pop up in this also. So it might just be like a bit, like, they're only on screen for, like, 2 seconds, but you're like, oh, this is this guy that's and a bunch of skits on the I Think You Should Leave Now. And yeah, it's just fantastic. And I really like it's not a spoiler or anything, but if you see it, you know what I'm talking about, where his like kind of buddy he's investigating with always is listening to like these tapes of these, it's like kind of jerky boy sounding, but it's just guys saying like disgusting things to each other, and I'm pretty sure one of them's Connor O'Malley, and I just like, it's just so funny, the whole show. If you vibe with like Tim Robinson's like humor, it's awesome. I can't get over how good it is. I think they've already renewed it for season 2 also.
Oh, nice. I watched the first 2 episodes of it and just never continued with it, but I did really enjoy what I saw as well. Just some unhinged bits in there.
Oh, yeah, and it gets like wilder and wilder, and it's just awesome. Just this deep chair conspiracy. So another thing I got to check out, I guess this is kind of Christmassy. What goes better with Christmas than pedophiles?
Oh, God.
I watched the new documentary Predators. I think it's up in Canada, it's on Prime or Paramount or something, but this is they've been advertising this forever. I feel like at least a year or so. But this is the documentary, I think MTV Documentaries made it, about To Catch a Predator and Chris Hansen.
So it's not directed by Dan Trachtenberg?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
This is like an alternate universe, I think. It's really interesting. It's obviously like very dark. There's some very, I mean, you know, To Catch a Predator is a very like, I feel like it's like this beloved show, especially for the internet. Like you always see the clips if you're on Reels or anything. But, you know, these guys are also getting into like a lot of the harm that the show caused. And, you know, like any of these shows, like kind of things they would do to like lure men into these situations that may not have been ethical.
May not.
It's just so sad that they took advantage of these poor pedophiles.
Yeah. Well, it was really interesting because obviously like all that stuff, you're kind of just like, oh yeah, like you don't feel bad for these guys. But there was, I thought the most interesting part was later on in it, like they interview Chris Hansen now, and he has started like some Roku channel with like this hardcore Republican guy that, you know, he's like wearing NRA shirts and stuff, and all this channel plays is like shows that are kind of like cops, and like he basically funds all these shows. And they talk about this episode that they filmed where the perpetrator was only 18 and the girl was basically 2 years younger than him. And it wasn't a girl. It was like another boy. And, like, basically, where they filmed it, the age difference wasn't illegal, even though he was 18. It's like, because wherever they lived, it was like 15 and over, like, that age difference is not an issue. But then where they aired it or something, it is illegal. So they were like basically gonna ruin this like kid's life for something that wasn't illegal where he was from. And like basically this kid had to like drop out of school. He was like accepted to go in like some Ivy League school. They dropped him, and it like basically this kid like tried to kill himself like multiple times, and they just kind of grill Hansen on this stuff, like, you know, you guys hold this power, and like in situations like this where like there's a real gray area here, like it's this 18-year-old kid, basically the person he had a relationship with was a junior in high school. He was a senior. And, you know, like Chris Henson's just a dirtbag, really. Like, he just didn't care. He was just like, well, you know, I got to make TV. So, and it just shows, you know, it's like shows you kind of the gross behind the scenes stuff of just like, he wasn't
like every reality show.
He wasn't really interested in this stuff until like it got him notoriety. And then he's just like, this is what he's hanging on to. Like, he has nothing else other than his fame to catch a predator that he's got off that. So it was kind of interesting. I didn't like that they didn't really explore, you know, like Chris Henson notoriously, like, left all these shows because he got caught, like, cheating on his wife while he was doing a show about cheating on your wife. And... like, he's just like a notorious scumbag, and they didn't really press him on that, and I was like, oh, that kind of sucks. And then they're going to do I think it's going to be a pretty controversial documentary. A lot of, like, you know, they talk to, like, professional psychologists and stuff that are talking about is publicly shaming these men, like, the human thing to do, like, even if they're arrested and stuff, like, a lot of these men end up killing themselves and stuff, and it's basically, like, what's the humane, non-humane thing to do, and is it right for society to make this television? But, you know, unfortunately, which I find with a lot of MTV back documentaries, it's just like they bring up a lot of questions but never actually answer it, and ends up being very surface level. And the only other thing I can talk about that I've watched, just because I like to let me get my pot out, stir that controversy a little bit, I also watched Die My Love today.
Oh shit. What's the take?
I have watched it, I've assessed it, I've put it into the mental computer. I'm gonna say I thought it was kind of mid. I wasn't like,
thank you.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate it, but I don't see the hype. It's one of those movies where like I'm like, oh
girl, there's no hype. Everybody hates it. Like
No. You gotta rewind to when I saw the movie, where the only person that had it logged was Mike at a 4.5, just calling it a fat pussy movie. And I had no idea what that meant. And then I went in and I was like, oh,
what does it mean?
For me.
What does it mean?
I will say most people on my
Letterboxd
are very favorable on the movie, though. There's only 2 people that didn't like it.
Same as mine. And like, I didn't hate it. And it's one of those movies where I'm like, I think the 2 leads are giving like really great performances, but I just don't think the material...
Jennifer and Sissy.
Oh. I just don't think the material is very good. I think there's some kernels of ideas there. I'm interested to see the dialogue around it. I need to look more into the dialogue around it. I feel like when Colton's complaining about being the man, like being like, oh, this fucking, you know, movie about women's issues or whatever, but
fuck off. That was not my take on the movie. I literally said that there's a movie that did this way better this year called If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. So when I saw them repeating the same material, I found this way more boring. This is like the artsy art house version.
You didn't let me finish. What I meant was your take on how you felt with Frankenhooker is how I feel about this, kind of, where I don't know anything about postpartum depression.
Okay.
But I was like, I don't know how this really, like, helps a conversation about it. Like, they basically make Jennifer Lawrence's character the world's biggest piece of shit in it. And, like, she's not a redeemable character. Like,
You're supposed to endure it, Rowan.
I guess.
She crawls around like a cheetah 5 times in the movie.
I'm just like, I just love Jennifer Lawrence so much. And I'm like, why are you making me hate her? Why do I hate her? And why at the end of the movie am I just like, okay, so everything's just her fault and she sucks. That's the
Listen.
moral of the story.
I do not like this movie, but I think it's wild that you come away basically being like Jennifer Lawrence is the problem in this movie after what Robert Pattinson's like.
I mean, he's also
I'm just
he's also a problem in it, but I guess I was also I just thought the narrative was kind of mixed, because there's a lot of stuff that I'm like, oh, is this supposed to be like fantasy and delusion, that I don't think there was like a fine enough line about what's actually happening versus what she's imagining. And so I was just like, oh, I just feel like those weren't separated well enough. And there's not really a story here. It's basically this like 2.5 hour long movie with like 10 minutes worth of story. And the rest is just, as Colton said, Jennifer Lawrence just crawling on the ground for no reason at all. Like,
Listen,
I guess
we need Jill's take. Next episode, we need Jill's take.
No, we don't. It's fine.
I'll think about it.
Now, I will say, like, so I think this is I don't know if I've seen any other Lynn Ramsey movie. I know she did what is it called? Her big one.
We need to talk about Kevin.
Yes, like I know of that. I've never seen it.
You Were Never Really Here with Joaquin Phoenix, where he beats some people up with a hammer.
Yeah, I'm looking now.
Ratcatcher is really good by her.
Yeah, I've never seen any of these movies. So this is my first movie of hers. So sadly, just not a winner for me.
No,
it's okay.
It's good because all the other ones are better.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go.
It's fine, Ro. Your mind was just primed for, all of the beautiful To Catch a Predator documentary narrative. Like, that's where you were. You were in this, like, really highbrow mental space, and you just weren't prepared for how garbage
you need to go back
this
and
is.
watch some Predator Badlands.
Yeah, like...
I mean, like I said, I didn't think it was like the world's worst movie. I was like, it didn't move the needle for me or anything. I was just like, okay, it was a movie on film that exists. That's all right for me. Bring on the Avatar 3.
There we go.
So other than that, that's absolutely all I've been watching. I haven't had time. I've been sick. So hopefully next one I'll have a little more to talk about. So with that, let's introduce our film for this evening. Mike, this was your pick. So why don't you let the people know what it is and why you chose it?
It's Near Dark. I chose it because I think it's good. Ding. That's it.
Wow.
Listen, we love Catherine Bigelow. We love women directors, even if everything y'all have said in the last few weeks counts as not loving women directors. But that's fine. That's fine. We're here. We're learning. We're listening. Yeah, it's just, we love vampire movies. Like, let's do it. Let's go.
So with that, let's kick it on over to the trailer, and we'll be back with the synopsis and first experiences.
If you're not afraid of the night, if you're not afraid of death, then you have nothing to fear until you meet one of them. Because vampires don't just kill you all at once. They terrify you forever. Fool that! Near Dark. Pray for daylight. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
Near Dark was directed by Catherine Bigelow and written by Catherine Bigelow and Eric Red, and the story is as follows. A farm boy with an excellent surname reluctantly becomes a member of the undead when a gorgeous drifter turns out to be part of a band of roving vampires, driving from town to town, leaving a trail of bodies in their wake.
So first experiences, is this our first time seeing this? Or do we respect women directors and watch all great films made by women, as long as they don't star Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson? Mike, you chose this film. Have you seen this before?
Yes. I first saw this. Oh my God. I was so young. I just remember like seeing the VHS of it in the video stores like when I was a kid a lot, and I don't know, it just looked a little bit scary but also like kind of stupid, and I just was like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. And then when I got a little bit older and you could like, look at movies online and stuff, and in like little movie guides, I was like, oh, this is supposed to be pretty good. And I rented it and I loved it. And then I bought the DVD when it came out from Anchor Bay, and I still have it. I posted a picture of it yesterday or the day before or whenever I watched this. And that began my love affair with Catherine Bigelow. What about you? Had you ever seen it before?
So I had never seen this before. I remember the like VHS cover very vividly. And I'm really confused of why I've never seen this, because like as a kid, like I've talked about it a million times, like aliens, like worshipped aliens.
Yeah.
So anything with Bill Paxton, I would have been like on.
And Jeanette Goldstein.
Jeanette Goldstein. I mean, yeah, basically like the cast of every James Cameron
and Lance
movie.
Henriksen. Yeah, it's like literally.
So I'm just like very confused. I should have talked to my mom when I was down, because I'm curious if she's seen this before. This seems up Rhonda Fraser's alley. So, but I had never seen it. And obviously this is a notorious, like hard to find, especially on physical media. The rights are a mess, so that this really doesn't come out very often. So, it's always been on my list as like, oh, if there's ever a re-release of this, like in 4K or something, I need to remember to grab it. There hasn't been yet, but I think they announced one, a 4K coming. So I'll have to jump on it. But what about you, Colton?
Yeah, I mean, this is one that's been on my radar, but I haven't seen it before. It's a first-time watch for me. A good friend of mine watched, what was it, this one and Strange Days earlier in the year, like a double feature. Yeah. And basically, he highly recommended it and told me I should watch it, but I was just so busy at the time that I never got around to it. So yeah, first-time watch. What about you, Jill?
So yeah, I've actually seen most of this before.
No way.
I know. I'm shocked too.
Yeah.
So over the summer, I went to the drive-in and they had that Lost Boys showing with Tim Capello.
Yeah.
The second movie they showed after Lost Boys was Near Dark, actually.
Cute.
But I didn't stay for all of it, so clearly I didn't even remember it was this movie.
Spoiler.
So not a spoiler. It was just, it gets really late, and then, I never stay for the full second movie, but I forgot the title of it, I guess.
Well, with that, why don't we grab our duster jackets and our cowboy hats and get it going, get it on, boy, about our conversations. That was a terrible...
It was a good attempt.
It was a good attempt, boy. Probably a little more...
Good but failed attempt.
Yeah, maybe a little more old-timey Southern than I'd be comfortable with. But, yeah, let's talk about Near Dark. So, I mean, I'll kick it off. My first note just says Tangerine Dream. Let's fucking go.
Yes, me too. I was hoping you would.
Oh, damn. My first note says weird-ass retro Studio Canal logo.
Oh, yeah. Well, that also.
That was strange.
I'm going to have a lot to say throughout this. I'm just warning now with Tangerine Dream. I thought the score is the strongest part of this movie. Let me just get off the hot take right now. Like, since I'm talking about Tangerine Dream, I think the score might be doing some heavy lifting on this movie. It's that good. Like, the score is that good.
It's a Tangerine Dream score. Yeah. Of course it is.
I mean, I'm going to have a lot to say about, like, pacing and stuff like that with this. I know. Woe is me. But I'll leave that for now. I don't want to ruin it all.
Or you could just leave it, period, and put it in a... Uber and drive it off to God knows where.
Well, I mean, we could like briefly talk about, we already did mention that Catherine Bigelow basically just recruited everybody that's ever worked with James Cameron to be in this movie, essentially. What year?
I mean, there is a 1987.
Yeah, but what year was Aliens?
86.
So this is probably right.
There's a moment, and I actually made a note of it, and this is obviously jumping ahead, but I think that's what we're going to do now. There is a moment when they're in the town, and they drive past a movie theater, and literally on the marquee it says Aliens.
Yeah.
Which I thought was funny because half the cast of Aliens is in this movie. And I'm trying to figure out if she was married to James Cameron or not already, but...
Not sure.
Did you find out?
Also, I should look it up, but it reminds me of apparently someone sent me this link the other day that apparently James Cameron is getting mad about some joke that Amy Poehler made 10 years ago at like, I think it was the Oscars or the Golden Globes or something, and they were talking about Catherine Bigelow, and, you know, she made some crack about, of course, she knows about torture. She was married to James Cameron.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
and apparently
I saw that
now,
making the rounds again.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And I just think it's so funny. It's so James Cameron.
Big Jim.
Obviously, because, you know, he's promoting a movie, so he's got to drag up decade-old.
Imagine if she was still
wisecracks.
married to James Cameron and having to listen about Avatar for the past 15 years.
Oh my God.
Listen to Avatar, but she still puts out like all her movies.
Yeah.
So she would just constantly just be getting recognized by the Academy and stuff, and you know they're all just like cool. Jim's doing some Avatar, some more Avatar again.
She's like, you know, off in the desert filming stuff, like on like a $2 million budget, and he's like, hold my beer. I'm going to be, you know, sat in front of a green screen and a computer for the next 5 years, like just hemorrhaging money, just like shitting it out, diarrheaing money.
So I will say, so when this movie started and we kind of get introduced to the, you know, this family of misfits.
No, we can't start there because the movie starts off good for about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, all right.
And I enjoyed this, like, will they, won't they, between Caleb and May. And, you know, the little moment they were having, talking about the sky and, you know, the sun burning out 1 billion years from now and she'll be still there. And it was the sort of thing where, obviously, we go into this movie nowadays and we know it's a vampire movie. But I was wondering at what point the movie was going to tip the hand. Because, I don't know, I haven't seen it before. I was kind of like, is this going to be the sort of movie where it's a real slow burn for like 30 minutes before there's any vampire? So I really liked this little moment of them just, you know, out chatting, the drive home, all this sort of thing. And, you know, her running away as she's smoking, you know, in the sun. That was good shit, man.
She was vaping.
I was wondering basically the whole movie how they did the smoke effect for all the vampires.
It actually was really cool looking.
Yeah. It was just, I don't know, it was
fantastic.
the 80s. Yeah.
I mean, one thing about this is it looks good. Like everything, I thought like film-wise, like cinematography and stuff, like I thought this looks amazing. It really makes me want a 4K of it. I was like, I bet this slaps in like high def.
The thing is that this movie should be taught in courses to everybody making a film now, literally everybody, including James Cameron, on how to fucking light a movie. Like, the lighting in this movie is fucking sick. It's insane. It's beautiful. Literally, it shits on every movie that came out in like the last 10 years.
There's definitely some great blue hour, dusk hour shots, you know, of silhouettes against the sun, which of course with the name of the movie and what it's all about, it makes a lot of sense. But there is a lot of good just photography of the landscapes and people kind of put against it. I thought was very impressive.
Yeah, it's the cinematographer that did the first 2 Terminator movies.
Okay.
All right.
It had a Western
vibe
to it a lot of the time, I found.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Which I was very curious because anytime I see people talk about this movie, like everyone's like, oh, like this vampire Western, you know, I guess just a child born when I am. My brain automatically goes to John Carpenter's Vampires when I think of like, or like From Dusk Till Dawn or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally
too.
like counting down like how many minutes is it going to be before Ro references From Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, I mean, and I had in my notes
complimentary,
very complimentary, but I was like, you can really see where like Tarantino pulled from this. Like you could see where like Rob Zombie's pulled from this. Like I was just like, oh, this makes like so much more sense now. Like the kind of conversation going on there with this like desert Western like vampire feel, which I'm gonna assume this is really like the first time this is done. I can't think of any other like older references of like vampire Western type things, which is like impressive in in of itself of being like a first of something.
Yeah.
I thought like just interesting script wise, visual wise, because I feel like you can also kind of feel in the background the James Cameron influence, like from the look, not just like the actors, but like it just had, it kind of has that Terminator feel to it.
Well,
like
it's probably the cinematographer.
Yeah. So like it's just interesting to see, the conversation of these guys, because obviously, like we said, I don't know if they were married, but they were a couple by then, and
yeah, or was she influencing?
Well, yeah,
James Cameron.
So there you go, James. So you're spinning it as James Cameron the hack.
Yeah, I always spin it as James Cameron the hack.
It's an interesting choice.
I love him, but if anyone is a hack in that relationship, it's going to be
They were not
him.
married yet. They married 1989, divorced 1991.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. I agree with Colton. I was very interested like the first 10 minutes where I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, it's kind of vague, even though like she's dropping kind of hints.
Small town, like, will they, won't they?
Yeah.
I was definitely vibing with that.
I just, even from then, this is where like my pacing issues were, where I was like, holy shit, like it takes a while for this movie to like get going. I thought it took way too long for like something to truly like get excited for. And I'm not going to jump right there, but like I didn't really get excited till like the bar scene. And then I was like, okay, you have my attention. I was really worried until then because I was just like, is this literally just going to be like some sort of like talk piece or something? And it's not really going to be vampire action or anything, which is also fine if that's what you're like going for. But I think just because even not seeing this, like the iconography from it is so iconic. Like I can't think of how many times I've seen like memes or GIFs or something of Bill Paxton in that bar scene that I'm like, okay, I'm expecting, I'm just expecting amazing things. But this is definitely a piece to me. Like there's so many great people in this, but I thought Paxton just like destroys. Like, what a fun role for him. And I thought he was better than almost anyone in this movie.
Oh, he irritated me to no end.
Oh, no.
I was like allergic to him.
But are you generally a Paxton fan or not?
I actually don't
I
know.
feel like not.
I have to pull up Letterboxd now and see like what I've seen.
Oh my god, did you ever see like Weird Science or anything?
I haven't. Apparently I've seen a good bit that he's been in, but I don't know if he's ever left that much of a mark on me. Where I felt like a lot of the movies I'm looking at here, it's like, okay, sure, Bill Paxton is in Nightcrawler, but I mean, like, how prominent is he in Nightcrawler? That's Jake Gyllenhaal's movie, right? Apparently he's in Titanic and
Predator 2?
Apparently.
Well, that's the thing. He doesn't leave much of a mark on me. So don't get me wrong. I think he's very charismatic in this movie, and obviously he's having the time of his life. He's a very fun character, but he's kind of one of the easiest points of this movie for me to point at and just kind of be like, I'm not sure if this stuff was working for me. Like Rowan wanted to jump right away to the family, and that was the point in the movie when the van pulls up and they pull what's his face into the van. I saw this like rogues gallery of half a dozen vampires. I was like, ugh, another one of these. Just because back then in the 80s, it probably was novel. But when I saw this happen, I was like, oh, okay, the Lost Boys probably did this better. There's From Dusk Till Dawn did this better. There's other movies I could point to with like kind of this gang of vampires that I was just like, this has a high mark to meet, I think, to kind of, I don't know, kind of pick my fancy.
Mm-hmm. Kind of want to touch on what you just said, also what Rowan said. So when I first saw this, it was right after Lost Boys, which is like, it's really up there. And then I see a lot of people compare this to Lost Boys or saying like it's better than Lost Boys or whatever.
It came out in the same year.
Okay, gotcha. So I don't know, like it wasn't as good as Lost Boys, in my opinion, and I have some things to say about vampires later. But that bar scene too is like really when I started to pay attention as well. Like leading up to that, I was getting a bit bored, and I was like, okay, when is something gonna happen, basically? But the bar scene is when I like sat down and started to pay attention, and I really liked what was going on with like Homer. What an awful name for a kid, but Homer and Sarah, I like that little plot line as well, because I was like getting scared about like what he actually might do to her. I got one more thing though. Would you say that the bar scene in this movie maybe inspired a scene in a 2024 film named Terrifier 3, where Art the Clown also spits out a drink in someone's face and causes a bar fight?
No, because I think that has happened in dozens of movies.
I think you could argue there's some moments in this bar scene that are literally put into From Dusk Till Dawn.
Absolutely.
Like there's definitely this kind of vampire in a biker bar energy going on that, you know, like definitely is there. Also, shout out to the guy that's like talking mad shit to Bill Paxton, because it took me forever to be like, where do I know this guy? Why is this guy? And I'm like, he's on Alien. I couldn't figure it out. But shout out, it's the guy that Arnold makes get naked and takes all his clothes and being a Terminator.
Shout out.
Shout out to that guy.
Iconic moment.
Yeah, iconic moment. Shout out to that guy.
Rewound on video many times.
I was just going to say, like, so kind of my issue, and just probably, maybe I'm guilty just because I really love Lance Henriksen, and, like, I think he's just genuinely a very good actor, is I felt, you know, Colton had the, oh no, like, here's the merry band of vampires, but I was like, other than Paxton, they just really don't let any of them cook at all. Like, we get so little of their personalities, I find, throughout this. Like, I'm interested in kind of knowing a little more about this, like, random, like, you know, because they've obviously all been picked up at different points in their lives, different times. I understand they're operating in a public eye as, like, a family, but I would have liked to know more of the inner workings and stuff of, like, this family surviving, where it's just kind of, I love Paxton, but it's just like he sucks up so much of the energy of all the other vampires that none of them really get another chance to shine. Like even like May, who is supposed to be like the co-lead of this, I'm like, I barely know anything about May. Other, you know, she's kind of like a dreamer, I guess, this like young adult dreamer, but we don't really get to know about her, and as well as Diamondback with Jeanette Goldstein's character. Like, I was like, there's really nothing other than some sort of wig going on. Yet again,
It's called fried bleached hair, Ron. It was very popular in the 80s.
Diamondback and what I kind of know about Westerns and stuff. Yet again, I was wondering if this is yet again another Jeanette Goldstein questionable casting, because obviously we have Aliens where she's casted as a Latino woman. I thought kind of stylized as an 80s Latino woman in this also. And I was just like, you know, fool me once, you know, fool me twice, maybe shame on you. I don't like, you know.
I don't know. This might be you projecting, honestly, because I don't see
Latino women just looked like that in the 80s, man. What can I say?
They just look like Jewish white women, I guess.
Quote, stylized as an 80s Latino woman, end quote.
I think the problem is it's really hard for me to unprogram my Aliens brain, especially like...
I mean, that's going to require therapy, so...
A couple months ago, I talked about how I watched that like 6-hour documentary about aliens, and like a big chunk of it was...
You talked about pacing and you watched a 6-hour documentary on aliens? Jesus Christ.
But a big chunk of it was about her talking about how she just kept getting casted as a Latino woman because of aliens. Damn. And how like everyone thought she was a Latina forever. Like, she basically just had to be like, no, but like, you know, she did the like, oh, I try to represent them as best as I can, and
oh no, I can't do that. Just give me a little bit more money.
Yeah. But even that Diamondback character, like I said, I didn't know enough about any of these characters that when I get these action set pieces or stuff's happening to them, which I do think is exciting, I just don't have the investment in it, because I'm like, well, I don't really know any of these characters. So like, even as this vampire family's getting hurt or whatever, I'm like, okay, but I don't know them. I don't really care. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I agree. I'm reminded of like Dr. Sleep for some reason because they have like a band of people, but they do like it's a movie too, but they take the time to give backstory enough for you to be invested in the characters. But even if they didn't give you background information on the characters, if they made them like, I don't know, like interesting enough for you to not really care about that. No, I mean, I don't mean that in like a dick way, but like, you know what I mean? Like give them some, an air of like mystery or something like that, or I don't know.
I never
so
made
what
it
is
past
it? Give them a story or have them mysterious?
I mean, one or the other.
Those are two completely opposite
I'm saying
things.
one or the other because it doesn't have either.
I'm still hung up on that you compared this to Dr.
That's
Sleep.
all I can
or
think of.
Favorably, was like Dr. Sleep does a better job of establishing vampires when it's like terrible energy vampires for that whole movie, and the only good part of it is Rose the Hat. Purely just because Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah,
Rebecca Ferguson.
Yeah. I don't know why that's.
I felt like Catherine Bigelow was an energy vampire in this movie because I was vibing for 10 minutes and then I was just felt like my soul was sapped out of me for the rest of the movie. And I don't think I can actually blame it on the movie because I think this pick is just poorly timed. And to be fair, we sprung this on Mike last episode. He scrambled, he picked something. But for me, when I was watching this, I couldn't remove it from watching Interview with the Vampire just like a couple months ago, where when I watched that movie, it felt like I was being revitalized. Like it was like, oh my God, this is completely not what I expected going into it. And when I was watching this, I was engaged for probably 15-20 minutes when it wasn't yet this kind of band of merry vampires going along from town to town. But that movie was just so like operatic and theatrical, and I really enjoyed it, where this was just a completely different vibe. And I think I might just be coming to the point again where I'm just growing sick of vampires. I'm thinking about, Nosferatu a year ago, Sinners earlier this year, Interview with the Vampire. I think it's just for me, it's like I need a bit of a break from vampires. I think this is probably a competent movie. It was just when I was watching it, I couldn't erase it from comparing it to a bunch of other vampire movies that probably mined this to get some sort of, reference point.
Yeah, I was going to say, they all ripped parts of this off. So
absolutely.
Congratulations to them.
Yeah. It was just, as I was watching it, I just felt like I've seen a lot of this before, and I think if I would have vibed with the Bill Paxton character, it may have been a little bit different, but I do completely agree with Rowan and Jill that he's a character that's so big that he does take all the oxygen from the room, and also as like a producer, when you're watching him give this performance that, when you're watching it, you would want to give him more screen time. You would want to give him, more to work with. And I think it's just at a detriment to the rest of the cast of characters. Because I agree, outside of May, essentially, and I think she just has that kind of wide-eyed, mysterious, attractive girl thing going on for the movie that I'm interested in her and her story regardless of her not being like fully developed. But like the rest of the cast, I mean, they're pretty plain for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I want it more of May. You're staying on the shit list, I guess. So I guess I'm clear here. But I want to go back to talking about vampires. So are we sick of vampires, or do we like a certain type of vampire? Because for me, I like sexy, homoerotic, like dark, gothic vampires. And I had the same problem with From Dusk Till Dawn.
So this.
Well, they're not. No,
there's so much homoeroticism.
It's not enough for me. Okay.
Bill Paxton and Adrian Pasdar want to fuck.
It's not my style. I don't know what it is. I didn't really like From Dusk Till Dawn either. So I think that's my thing, is that if it's not like that kind of Anne Rice sort of vampire, I don't really like click with it. So I think that's my issue with like the vampires in this movie.
Also, your issue is that you read way too much dark romance and fantasy.
Yes.
Dang, getting called out.
Listen.
Listen, sorry. The draggings will be happening.
So for me, it actually is just, I think I'm tired of vampires again now. Like I'm even thinking, what was that vampire one? Annabelle. Was it Annabelle? Abigail.
Abigail.
The ballerina vampire one, and then there's Renfield and whatnot.
I didn't see any of these movies.
We're going through, I think it's just like we're going through a trend right now of vampire movies kind of coming back in vogue, and I think the next thing's going to be werewolves again with, Wolfman earlier in the year and then Robert Eggers' new werewolf movie. But for now, I'm just kind of tiring of this, and I don't have an issue with it needing to be gothic or homoerotic or whatnot. It just, I have to care about it to some degree. And with From Dusk Till Dawn, I love that movie. We haven't covered it on the show, but that's 100% a fucking slay from me. I love that movie. So it's like, I love that movie. I really liked, Interview with the Vampire. I was a Nosferatu fan a year ago. Lost Boys is great. It's just, for whatever reason, I think this just hit me at a moment where I'm just a bit tired. And specifically where Interview with the Vampire, in my recollection, was just so surprising. This was just kind of more of like, oh, this is kind of what I expected, more or less, and I think I'm just a little bit bored because of that aspect, I guess. The part of this movie that really surprised me was actually in the special effects, which I already mentioned, obviously, the smoking vampires, but I thought this was definitely a smaller budget kind of indie movie. And there is a number of explosions in this movie that I was shocked by. Obviously the exploding effect of the vampires, but then there's multiple car explosions and everything. The scale of the movie, it was definitely not what I was expecting when I was going into it.
It was a $5 million budget.
No way. Wow. I just was on a $7.7 million budget, and we certainly didn't blow up any trucks in it, I tell you that much.
You guys are missing out.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I guess my response to Joel's question is, it's just something, it's very difficult because, like I said, I love Paxton's performance in this, and I did like Henriksen's performance in this, but I just didn't think he was given enough for that character to, really have his moment to shine. And the thing is, this is how I like my vampires. Okay. But I just think, I can respect this kind of being, as I said, the influencer movie, the grandfather movie, where I'm I think people that have pulled from this, From Dusk Till Dawn, I'm also a big From Dusk Till Dawn, I just think they kind of tweaked it, and it might have been a little better of a tweak. And I'm also in the camp, if you're talking about this year, I think Lost Boys slaps, just is a super slapper. And maybe it's almost, I don't know if it's the grittiness in this. To me, Lost Boys is very camp. And I think about Interview with the Vampire. And, that's why I think it's funny,
oh my God, don't call it camp.
Well, no, watch but I'm saying that that's been those have been the movies of that kind of camp that Colton's actually been okay with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I think because Vampire.
So straight camp.
No. Wow. We can get into it, but I think a lot of movies use camp. I think a movie is bad and they make the point at some point during production or in the editing process to amplify those aspects as a guise of look, it's actually intentional.
Yeah.
Interview with the Vampire, that was all intentional, and there's a lot of craftsmanship and, artistic value on screen, and it also is a bit campy. And cheesy and hokey, whereas I just think there's some movies where it's an afterthought.
Or a non-thought.
Yeah.
Like I said, I really found, for me, it was just I found the story a little uneven. I was just it does have these slapper parts, but I feel there was too many lulls in between where I would have liked to see more of, I would have liked to see more of Caleb trying to feed or the others feeding, because we don't really, we get a couple scenes of that, but we don't really know how they're operating other than just there's one or two scenes of them picking up people. But I just would have liked to see more of how these nomad vampires are traveling and apparently not really getting any, no one's after them until Caleb comes into the picture. So it's how have these guys survived all this time without anyone really noticing and all that kind of stuff.
It's a movie that, for the most part, when I was watching it, I just didn't find that there was a strong narrative thrust, a plot that was driving it. It was very vibey, very obviously just in the character space of Caleb. And when they were kind of going through the vampire beats of him having to feed or whatnot. It just felt like we repeated the same beat a couple of times. Like there's May kind of capturing the people for him multiple times over the course of the movie, where usually a lot of these movies, of course, like the feeding part is a dramatic part of any vampire narrative. It's just usually you would develop the different ways in which, like, you know, if we go back to Interview with the Vampires, there's the rat eating part, or there's the weird threesome eating part, or, you know, there's a feeding on each other part. There's just some variation, I guess, where this felt like it was kind of repeating the same things after, you know, a talky moment amongst the family sort of thing.
I did think it was interesting, though, of kind of stripping all of the, like, lore out, where essentially it's like, other than the sun, there's like nothing else you have to deal with in this. Like, I don't need to know, you know, this amulet will do something to them, or
not sleeping in coffins with dirt.
Yeah,
you know?
like, I thought that was kind of cool that it's just like, oh, it's like it's just like literally sunlight. That's all that matters. Other than that, they can cause some havoc, do what they want. So, I mean, why don't, you know, we brought it up. Why don't we talk about the bar scene before we lose Mike here and he hates us all and quits
I think
the
I'm too late.
in the new year.
Too late. I'm gone.
I'm not even exaggerating. So, like, when I was watching this, like, literally bar scene comes in, we start setting up the bar scene, and I, like, literally sat up, like, edge of my seat. I was like, let's go. Like, everything about the scene, it lived up to the expectation for me, because obviously, like I said, this is, like, the iconic scene.
I do want to say, I think the poster for this, this is one of the notes I had at the very beginning. The poster for this looks badass.
Is it the one where he's silhouetted with the gunshots going through him?
Yeah.
Or the black and white one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's pretty sick.
I don't know if I saw that one. I think the one I recognize is like, it's all of them. It's like dusk or something, and then it's the family on the poster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple of different ones that I was looking at. Obviously, the shot of like Bill Paxton with the blood in his mouth and the sunglasses on from the bar is iconic. That's kind of plastered across a bunch of different posters and whatnot.
I mean, another note I had was, you know, I said that I could see a lot of Rob Zombie influence there. Obviously, that's all I thought about, like, the cop shootout with the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
Very reminiscent, Devil's Rejects, the Firefly shootout. Another one, right? Like, scene for scene, you can just see the iconography of this film kind of influencing all these guys. And I thought that scene also super good, super amazing. It's like very chaotic. Paxton's cooking. This, I think Henriksen, everyone's kind of cooking in this. I like how they kind of put on their like masks. They're like sun. I don't know what's going on. They, even though they all catch on fire, like they still put like goggles on. They're like swimming goggles with spray paint or something. I don't even know what they are. Well, maybe I guess a better thing with, it's like welder's glasses, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, probably just for like light sensitivity on the eyes or something. But
yeah. I just thought,
I thought
it looked kind of cool.
Yeah, that's another scene where, once again, it was sort of like the special effects I was remarking at, where obviously there's the long take of like the person on fire who's Caleb, like heading to the van, you know, the long take when they're escaping the hotel.
Now, I don't know if I missed something, but other than, so when the dad shows up with the sister at the motel, did I miss it? Did they explain that Caleb's dad is a doctor earlier in the movie? Or is that just...
They literally show him as a vet.
Oh, he's a vet?
It says whatever's vet farm, yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that, so... Okay, well, it was a surprise to me, because I was like, I have no idea why... I was like, I guess this guy's a doctor, that's okay. But this was another thing that I actually liked in this, was I thought the transfusion thing was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask about that, actually.
I wish they kind of had explored it more, just because I thought it was a cool narrative thread in it.
Yeah, that was a unique thing that I don't know if I've seen in other vampire movies. I could be forgetting something. I mean, I named a whole bunch, but the basically the fact that vampirism wasn't a complete death sentence, like that there was actually a way out of it, I thought... Once again, I thought that was pretty interesting as well. Good development for the narrative.
Was there something about that in Daybreakers, maybe? It's been a long time. Like, I haven't seen that since it came out in the theater. But I feel like there was something about, like, blood transfusion.
Yeah, it's just interesting that, obviously, a lot of other filmmakers lifted parts of this movie, and it influenced them, but kind of that piece they left behind, or at least if it still felt novel to me. It was a plot development that I haven't seen repeated numerous times.
100% agree. So, like, what about obviously, like, to me, the climax of it, of like Caleb, getting the blood transfusion, then kind of, fighting the family. I almost kind of wish that there was a little more of a fight, like this lasted a little longer, especially where they brought the sister into it. I thought that added like a little more
tension.
Drama into
I
it.
like that too.
And I felt I would have liked that kind of spread out a little more, a little more intensity in that, just because now we've got like the father roped into it, and other than him giving the transfusions, like, I guess I would have liked seeing the family maybe like fight the other family, so it's like real like family against family going on.
You wanted a Sinners ending to the movie. Just an all-out bloodbath.
Just all-out bloodbath going on there. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I thought it was very I thought the ending wasn't too bad. I just kind of wish they kind of went out in more of a glory than.
Well, speaking of going out in glory, did you skip over Bill Paxton's death with the big rig?
The big rig, yeah.
Yeah, that was a glorious moment, where he's perched on the front of it and he's like ripping through the hood into the engine and whatnot. That was a good moment.
Did a little part of any of you guys think I mean, Mike's seen it before, so he knew it was going to happen. But I was like, is it going to be like Terminator, where he like walks out of the fire? And I was like, oh, maybe he's not dead. And
no, there was something in the air of that explosion. Once again, the special effects, where it looked like meat being like vaporized high up in the sky of that shot. So I was like, oh, he's toast, quite literally.
He's vaping.
Yeah. Just vaping. I did like I did like the callback though, because I remember when he's in the truck and the truck driver's talking about like, oh, the braking system and stuff. Like, I knew in my head, I was like, this is obviously going to come up at some time. But then I was also like, why are we focusing on this braking system? Like,
Chekhov's
eat the guy,
brakes.
just eat this guy. Yeah, and then Chekhov's brakes just coming to get you. And obviously Diamondback, just the knife throwing, which I kind of wish I also got more of. I was like, apparently she's like a knife thrower.
I love Diamondback. I want more Diamondback.
Kind of reminded me of the girl from Dream Warriors for some reason, the knife girl from Dream Warriors.
Taryn.
Well, I think it's the knives. It's like the punk aspects in the knives, like the leather jacket, stuff like that.
Except you thought it was a wig.
I'm still not convinced, but it's okay.
No, it's fried hair, girl.
Oh, well, I don't know. That's all right. I don't know anything about fried hair. But yeah, I mean, and then yet again at the end, like, I think the score really kicks in the ending. I'm still very heavily thinking, I think the score does a lot of heavy lifting for me in the movie. Like, I just think scenes that I'm even like, on, it kind of, I think it like lifts everything up a kind of a notch just because of how strong the score is. And like, this is a score I would die to have on vinyl just because it's so fantastic.
I stream it all the time. I use it for when I'm taking a nap.
Nice. Is there any other scenes for you guys? Or, I mean, we kind of talked about all the big scenes, and it's a lot of like exposition scenes, things like that. Well, so with that, are we comfortable to land the plane and go into rating this? So if you're new to the podcast, our rating system is nay, okay, yay, or slay. Mike, this was your pick, so we're going to let you go first. What would you rate Near Dark 1987?
I like this. It's a minor cult classic. I'd give it a yay. It's not like the best movie I've ever seen, obviously, but it was really influential and it was like highly original for its time. It has a great soundtrack. It has great cinematography, great direction. I don't really buy the like heterosexual love story at the center. So that kind of keeps it from doing a whole lot for me, but I liked everything else, and I liked the relationship between all the vampires. So yeah, it's a yay for sure. Jill?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I honestly really think I need to go back and rewatch this one, not on YouTube. I need to find like a better like streaming copy of this.
Archive.org.
Yes, but
behind the scenes, Jill literally did not listen to me say last episode where she could get it. And she also didn't pay attention to the text messages from Rowan saying, don't forget we're recording
I didn't
tomorrow.
See that text until we were sat down recording.
So yeah, this one was sprung.
Yeah,
on
I was
her.
really convinced that I could find a copy of this and that I had time to do so. And then I was like, shit, I actually have to like panic and scramble to watch this. So yeah, I really do think I need to come back to this one and give it another watch to be totally fair to it. But I'm going to give it an okay because that's what I gave From Dusk Till Dawn. And I feel exactly the same way about From Dusk Till Dawn. So it's fine. It's just like it's very much an action movie. It's got like that Western kind of feel with like the vampires. It is gritty. Every movie like that's kind of actiony is usually not my cup of tea. And so for that, I think I could grow to like this more. But for now, it's just going to be an okay. What about you, Colton?
Yeah, this is another one that I mentioned earlier. I think it's just kind of the timing for me when I watched it that I was primed not to enjoy it as much as I probably should have. As I said, there was definitely some good shots throughout it. I actually did like the hetero romance, surprise, but I liked it more so when it was contained and smaller, more insular, just kind of will they, won't they near the beginning of the movie, and less so when all the family dynamics and vampirism were involved. So for me, this is an okay as well. It's just the sort of thing where I think I'm just a little bit over vampires at the moment. Even if I think back to something like a Nosferatu, which is like, of course, Colton's primed to like that movie. He's an Eggers fan. I liked it because of the Eggers-ness, not so much of like the vampire aspect. Like I remember I hated Bill Skarsgård in that movie. So it's just kind of, for me, it's I think it's just kind of well-trodden territory for me right now. So it was just, it didn't hit as hard as what it may have or it should have hit. And also it's just, I think I watched all of the movies that were inspired by it first, which makes the progenitor feel a little bit more dull by comparison, I guess. So yeah, overall, this is an okay for me. Rowan, take us home.
Yeah, I mean, the scenes that were electric were like super electric, and I really enjoyed them, and they lived up to all the hype. Like I said, the bar scene was like, I could just watch that scene on YouTube over and over again, and I just really liked it. The shootout stuff I really liked. Obviously, as a huge zombie fan, I feel like I'm kind of in the same areas, Colton. Like some of the predecessors of this that kind of pulled from this, I've seen more, I'm more familiar with. I like what they did with the material and how they took off and ran with it. I respect it as, kind of inventing this kind of Western vampire feel. So I think I'm going to land on an okay also. This is probably one of the rare okays. So usually I give an okay and I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know how often I watch that. This one, I would like to take a couple passes through again just to see how it builds on me, because I do kind of like the feel, I guess the grittiness and that like 80s like Terminator grittiness feel of it. I do really enjoy. So yeah, I'll give it an okay too. So 3 okays and a yay is where that will land. And we told you what we thought, and we asked you what your opinion was on it. And this section, I don't have anything to report. Nobody wrote in about this one.
What?
So
no.
I don't know if
I can't find it.
So if you're listening to the episode, archive.org, as Mike has already plugged
multiple times over
times,
multiple episodes.
You can watch it there. But what I did want to add in this section was I had missed someone comment on Christmas Evil, just because I blew by it, and it's only right I read about Christmas Evil for a sec, because I want everyone to feel heard, and I wasn't ignoring you. And it was our buddy Josh over at TerraVision. He wrote in about Christmas Evil, And he had said, I liked this one a lot. It's a real departure from the usual holiday slasher. Mental breakdown in its full effect here. Childhood trauma, family breakdown, and Santa. Just wanting to give to the kids and kill some naughty grown-ups along the way. Definitely good for repeat viewings. You have to be in a right headspace for it, though. So
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I'd 100% agree with that. It might depress you a little bit, so you don't want to be until that ending. Then you'll get super pumped up when you're just flying in that moon. Then you'll be super happy. But with that, we did have Horror Hound Nicholas call in, so let's go over to the horrific hotline and see what Nicholas had to say about Near Dark.
All right, so Near Dark, that is a movie I can get behind after, well, not liking and somewhat disliking with some of your winter picks. I am really here for that one. It is, well, up there in the vampire rotation for me, right next to The Lost Boys and From Dusk Till Dawn. And it has a similar, well, not vibe necessarily, a similar pull as those movies that I can just put it on, starting as basically a background movie, but I find myself glued to the TV. I enjoyed it so much. I think Catherine Bigelow did a great job directing that movie, as well as the actors and actresses in the movie. I think it's a really cool idea to portray the vampires as these kinds of, road trippy people. There is this brilliant and somewhat terrifying scene in the diner or bar right in the middle of the movie. It has some cool effects. I don't know. I really like the movie, and there's not really that much more to say because it is a slave for me.
Shit.
Haven't seen it in a few years and was pleasantly surprised rewatching it now. And I think I have to pick it up way more often.
Nice.
To really get into the vampire meets road trip meets Western style. Something that I hoped John Carpenter's Vampires would have done better, which is still an entertaining movie and a fun watch, but I did a double feature yesterday evening of both movies, and this one just takes the cake by far. Though, well, what do you guys think of John Carpenter's Vampires? Is it a worthy comparison?
100%.
One more thing, not sure if it's necessary to mention, but since at least Mike is a Multiple Maniacs fan, I did watch another John Waters movie, not Serial Mom as you recommended to me, though that is on my list still, sadly. I did watch Crybaby. Which is the favorite movie of my girlfriend, and I hadn't seen it yet. And that was a great watch, including Willem Dafoe as a prison guard in a scene that lasts about 21 seconds. So just wanted to let you know there are John Waters movies that I enjoy, apparently. So I'm back on the John Waters train as well. So guess there will be more movies from him in my watch list very soon. Anyways, as I'm recording on Christmas Eve, I once again wish you a happy Christmas if you celebrate, a great start into the new year, and let's see what movies you pick for the upcoming episodes.
Proud of you.
I don't know if there could have been... Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know if there's
hard to get on Mike's good side in the new year.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know.
He's not on the naughty list.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if there's a voicemail that could have been more poised for Mike. giving the movie a sleigh and talking about John Waters coming around on him. But if you want to be like Nicholas and leave us a voicemail, you can do so by sending it to us at itslayspodcast@gmail.com or on any of our socials at itslayspodcast. And if you're not following us there already, we're on Instagram, Facebook, Slasher, Letterboxd, Threads, Bluesky, TikTok, probably another dozen that I'm forgetting to mention. And you can follow us there at itslayspodcast. And if you want to help support the show financially, like our horror hounds Holly, Nicholas, Mark, Stephen, Dan, Brian, Trevor, and James, gain access to the Patreon exclusive show Stream Screams, hosted by Jill, that I've been told will be making a triumphant return at some point in 2026 and get episodes of the main show 48 hours early when Rowan feels like it. Be sure to head on over to patreon.com/itslays podcast and choose whatever tier works best for you. Rowan, you already talked about the score for this movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
I assume it's making the playlist.
Yeah, as long as it's on Spotify, it will. We will be adding some stuff from this amazing score. So you can see if I did by going to Spotify, looking up the It Slays Podcast horrific playlist. If you have any problems finding it, you can go to any of the social media Colton mentioned, go into the bio, click the Linktree link, it'll take you directly there. We upload scores or licensed music from iconic horror movies we review, or just horror movies we love, so go follow it. We update it regularly, and get your spooky music on, because why the hell not? So all that is left is to announce the next episode, and Jill, we have come back around to you. What do you got us watching?
All right, I guess we landed on Night of the Living Dead from 1968 by George Romero. I feel like that's been on our list for a while. Me and Rowan keep talking about how we want to cover more Romero, and we've been trying to pick this one for a while. So, yep, get it in your eyeballs, I guess.
So yeah, Night of the Living Dead. I'm sure that'll, we'll see how the people feel about that. But yeah, get that into your eye holes, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. As always, thank you for all the support. I am your humble host, Rowan.
Bye, it's Mike.
And I'm Colton.
Bye, it's Jill.
See you later.